Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it's over for Mason Greenwood at Manchester United. So what is the transfer latest on Greenwood? Left back signing, an exclusive drop, exclusive information coming in on a new left back signing at United. There's been links to Chilwell, Reguilon, but there's one left back that Manchester United have had talks with in the coming days. And one source says that Man United may quietly get a left back deal done before Zirkzee, Ligt and Ugarte, because it's easier to do without the Euros, without Copa America in the way. Could a left back be Man United and Ineos' first official signing before Zirkzee? Could that be the case? Ugarte to United is very close and closer than you think. There's, player agreements in place. What is the latest on Zirkzee? Because we could get a here we go in 5 minutes for Zirkzee, in 5 hours for Zirkzee, 5 days for Zirkzee. We could get a here we go for Zirkzee while I'm live. Like it's basically done, Zirkzee. We're just waiting for the official here we go. It's so close as United are triggering its release clause. What's the latest on De Ligt? What's stalling that? Is it the Euros? How close are Man United to agreeing a deal with Bayern? Fabrizio Romano's dropped a big update on many stories. Sancho, Casemiro, Rashford latest on sales. Second centre-back signing, Branthwaite, Lina Euro latest. A breakdown of what happened to Carrington today with Greenwood, Sancho, Rui van Nistelrooy, Rene Hake, people coming in, Malacia, updates on all of that and more. So we've got so much to get to in today's show. So please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below for new. Now, I will get through the live chat nearer the end of the show, but because there's so much news to get into and I want to keep it to 30 minutes, I want to get right to the point so people watching on replay can know. But as you can see, I've got a lot of news to get into. So we're going to get right into it and we're going to start with the Mason Greenwood news. So let's start with the first story on Mason Greenwood. Fabrizio Romano said, Roberto De Zerbi wants Greenwood and his chapter at Manchester United is over. Fabrizio Romano has said again and again, but it's officially said Greenwood will not return to Man United. It has been confirmed it is over for Greenwood at United. There were some return rumours, but I think we always knew that Ineos were going to sell him and that Ineos were trying to sell him. But it's been confirmed today that Greenwood is not coming back to Manchester United training. It is officially over for Greenwood at Man United. He's told his chapter's over. They're now trying to sort his future. He's not allowed back to training. So that is the end of Mason Greenwood and Manchester United. Now, what Man United are working on now is the sale of Greenwood, because once Manchester United sell Greenwood, I would massively keep an eye on Desiree Doué. We spoke about that in my live show earlier, and if you want to hear the latest on Desiree Doué, make sure you're subscribed, because when Mason Greenwood is eventually sold, I think we'll get some updates on the wing situation, United wanting to sign a winger. But what was said in regards to the outs of Mason Greenwood? It was said that Marseille have made verbal progress to Manchester United for Mason Greenwood. Talks are underway between the two clubs, and Greenwood still is Marseille's main target, with negotiations ongoing over a fee. United are open to a loan with an obligation to buy with a big sell-on clause. Manchester United advanced talks with Marseille over the sale of Mason Greenwood. It was also said that Man United want a big sell-on clause by Romano. So let's quickly dive into this story. Mason Greenwood will not return to United. That is confirmed. That is official. He is gone. It is over for Mason Greenwood at Manchester United. He's very close to a move to Marseille. They seem to be the favourites, because Lazio, that were once the favourites to sign Greenwood, have kind of come out with some salty comments. Now, what's complicating the Greenwood sale is his wages, the complications and controversy potentially around bringing Greenwood in for any club, but of course the fact that United want to get their money's worth for Greenwood, which is fair enough, and they want to implement a huge sell-on clause, because Manchester United know that they are letting a probably 50, 60 million pound player in today's market go for around 30 million because of the external situations that obviously surrounded Mason Greenwood as well. So that is obviously what's making it difficult, which I think is why you don't want to sell on clause. Ugarte is very useful for us. We're about to get into some Ugarte news, so stay tuned for that. Even Copa America's over next week as well. We need to get beyond these international. Yeah, I think Copa America and Euros are both over next week. So I think we're going to get some real big and interesting updates coming in on those three players. Guys, make sure you hit that like button and, of course, subscribe down below if you're new to Alice Talks Football and want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, takeover news, and more, as we're going to get into the next story. Now, the Lazio president came out and said this in regards to Greenwood. He said the deal to sign Mason Greenwood was close last year, but it then collapsed at the final stage. Now, I've got one more name on my list. I can't share the name, but he's 10 times better than Greenwood. So I think that means Lazio aren't going for Greenwood. Now, I take this as Lazio's salt that Greenwood said that Marseille is his first option, Valencia is his second option, Juventus is his third option, Napoli is his fourth option, Lazio is his fifth option. I don't think Lazio are in for Greenwood anymore, and I think Lazio's president is coming out saying stuff like this as salt that Greenwood wants moves elsewhere away from Lazio. Apparently, he even chose Getafe over Lazio, because let's be honest, Man United is selling Greenwood not because of Greenwood's ability, but because of external issues. If we focused on Greenwood's ability, Lazio would not be able to attain a player 10 times better than Greenwood. So maybe Matthijs is a good player up there that Lazio could get, but let's be honest, they're not going to sign a player 10 times better than Greenwood. I think that is the president salty that Greenwood has probably chosen and informed them that he's chosen not to go to Lazio. Let's go for 100 likes, people. Big up everybody in the chat. Hi, Alice, I'm watching you from Liberia. Big up. Let me know where you're watching from. Great to see people watching from all over the world. But let's now talk about the left-back news. So Sam C Reports dropped an exclusive, and he dropped an exclusive about this left-back about 3 months back, saying that this is one to watch in the summer. He dropped an exclusive, and Fabrizio Romano added to this. So this is the first of 3 stories on left-backs today. It was said that Manchester United and Girona discussed about Miguel Gutierrez during discussions for Donny van der Beek. Deal has entered early stages now, nothing advanced, but there have been talks, the interest is there. So United have had talks with Girona about their left-back. Now the deal is difficult because I think Real Madrid have first choice on what goes on, and of course Girona being owned by the City Group. But when we had discussions for Donny van der Beek, we had discussions about that player, which is interesting. It's definitely one to keep an eye on. And Romano did say this on it: Girona won't make life easy for any club wanting to do a deal for Miguel Gutierrez. He's one of the names United is scouting. Again, Fabrizio Romano confirmed we're further in for this, but it's one of the names we are scouting. Nothing super advanced yet, although one source says that we are in advanced talks to sign a left back, which I'm going to dive into in a second. Alex said these Italian clubs can be a bit salty, even Zlatan's comments about Zirkzee. Yeah, I can't remember what Zlatan said, but he made some comments about Zirkzee. I think AC Milan are annoyed that Zirkzee's gone to Man United, so now AC Milan and Zlatan are trying to pretend that like AC Milan had other plans and they didn't want Zirkzee, or I don't know what it is. I think you can get Yusuf Fofana for 25 million. You get him as your second CMDM. Otherwise, I'd go for Amrabat for 12 million. I agree. Ugarte number 1. If Yusuf Fofana can be number 2, perfect. If we can't get it, maybe go for Amrabat at 12 billion. Could be a decent deal. Big up to everybody watching, people watching in Trinidad and Tobago, people watching it from Cornwall, Jamaica. Great to see people watching all over the world. Alice, as far as I can see, we won't be playing 4-2-3-1 next season, as it wouldn't allow us to play Hoyland and Zirkzee together. I'm from Hormel. Hoyland and Zirkzee will mostly rotate, but I think there'll be some games where they play together. I actually think we're going to play a 4-3-3 because Ten Hag told the Ligt that he wanted him to partner Martinez at the back in a 4-3-3, according to some sources. So I believe if Man United do line up, it will be a 4-3-3 with Zirkzee starting some games, Hoyland starting other games, but the odd game when they start together where Zirkzee could almost be in a more Bruno role behind Hoyland, or a game sometimes where tactically Ten Hag might adjust for a big game when we have 2 strikers and potentially 5 at the back. You know, Luke Shaw left centre back, Malacia left back. We've done that before, you know, for those big games. It'll be interesting to see. So what else has been said on the left back situation? And this is my please no moment. It was said that Ben Chilwell is one of the options being considered to bring in competition to the left back position, according to Sami Mokbel of the Daily Mail. It was said that Chelsea left back Ben Chilwell was among the options Manchester United are considering as they look for competition for Luke Shaw. So Sami Mokbel is saying that Ben Chilwell is one we're looking at as potential competition for Luke Shaw. I don't want Ben Chilwell. I'd rather get Reguilon, if I'm going to be honest with you. The only thing Ben Chilwell's got is homegrown, but he's injury prone. He's not very good. Chelsea fans want him gone. Chelsea fans much prefer Cucurella to Ben Chilwell. And do you remember when we linked to Cucurella and people were like, no, let's not go Cucurella. But Cucurella's had a very good Euros. I don't want Ben Chilwell at Man United. I'd rather us go for Reguilon if we're going to bring in a cheap left back, or us go for, of course, Miguel Gutierrez. Now, it was said as well that there's a growing likelihood that Manchester United may discreetly secure a left back signing before finalising the Zirkzee deal following the conclusion of the Euros. Now, what I think is particularly interesting about that, and about the reports that Manchester United may get a left back deal done secretly before the end of the Euros, is that while the Euros and Copa America ends in a week, we're so advanced on those 3 signings that I believe the first signing will be Zirkzee, Ugarte and Ligt. I don't know what order. It looks like it's going to be Zirkzee. I couldn't tell you the order. So it looks like Manchester United are going to probably get those 3 signings done within the next 10 days. But Ineos have said, well, we can get a deal done out of nowhere with Omar Barada. We can just surprise you like that and get that deal done. Ruud van Nistelrooy. There is potential that Man United could get a deal done for Miguel Gutierrez, Reguilon, Chilwell, hopefully not. In the next few days, there's reports coming out that United could discreetly get, a fullback signing done because those players are not at the Euros or Copa America, and it could be easy deals to do. Now, I don't think it would be Miguel Gutierrez because obviously Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that's a complicated deal to do. But keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the news. Make sure you subscribe with post notification bell on, because if there is any updates on the situation, I'll let you know. I got insight today as well to say that Manchester United will sign a left back this summer. Now, I've always said maybe Man United should sign a left centre back that can play left back. I got inside information today to say that United will sign a left-back this summer. Man United's plan is for 6 signings, okay? This is what I got told today, exclusive info. Ugarte, Zirkzee, Ligt. Second centre-back, but that depends on sales. A winger, but that would depend on sales. And a left-back. Not a second midfielder, which is worrying, but if Eriksen and Casemiro are sold, they will go for a second midfielder, but it's not a priority. They want a left-back regardless. But there could be up to 7 signings for United. Second midfielder, second centre-back, left-back, winger on top of those 3 mains. There could be 7 signings for United this summer. So big things could be happening. Things could be getting very excited. Guys, make sure you hit that like button. Let's go for 500 likes. We're on about over 100 likes now, so continue to hit that. Is Amas good enough for the first team? He has the potential to be good enough for the first team. He has the potential to be a Luke Shaw regen, but he's still developing as well. Malassi was apparently at training today. Yep, we will be getting into that and a few other stories as well. Do I think we'll keep Shaw? I do think we'll end up keeping Luke Shaw because he's a good player when fit. So what is the latest on Ugarte to United? It's been said that contacts between Manchester United and PSG for Manuel Ugarte is still ongoing, and Ugarte is keen to join Manchester United. Manuel Ugarte is an option on the table with the player. Talks with the player went well, and he's very keen on a move to Manchester United. PSG are yet to receive official bid, so Romano is saying contact between Man United is good. Ugarte is keen on the move. Ugarte is given the green light to United. Ugarte is essentially told Man United, yes, I will come, and Ugarte is an option for United. The option is on the table. United are keen on the move. PSG want to move on Ugarte. Man United want to sign Ugarte. Ugarte wants Manchester United. We know that deal's going to progress. A very good source, again, in Christopher Michael came out and said this news in regards to Ugarte. He said Man United are now pushing for the transfer. PSG would like 60 million euros previously paid. Manchester United think a price of 42 million euros is realistic. The teams will probably meet in the middle. Man United are optimistic. So we're now getting around the price range. PSG wants 60 million euros, which is what they paid for Ugarte. They got it for about £51 million. We're saying no, we want to get him for 42 million euros, which is £35 million. We want to get him for £35 million. PSG want around just under 50 million for the player. They're upset. It's a slight loss. I think a deal for Ugarte will be done for 40 million. But if Zirkzee's 34 million, De Ligt is 34 million, add the add-ons to that, probably takes both those deals to 40 million. And Zirkzee is around 40 million. That is De Ligt, Zirkzee and Ugarte coming into United for 120 million, which I think is some really good, really smart, really intelligent bit of business from United. Ugarte surely gets done with a lower base fee and add-ons. I think we'll get a deal done for Ugarte for 35 million with 5 million in add-ons. I generally think PSG want 50 million for Ugarte because that's what they paid for him. They know they have to take a loss, so they'll probably have to take a 10 million loss. I think they'll get 50 million euros. I reckon it'll be 35 million with 5, 6, 7 million add-ons, and I think we'll get the Ugarte deal done. I think for me, I'm very confident that De Ligt, Ugarte, and Zirkzee will be Man United players in the next 2 weeks. So it ends in officially a week, Copa America and the Euros. I think in the next 2 weeks, De Ligt, Ugarte and Zirkzee will all be United players getting ready for their pre-season with United. I generally do believe that. Call me deluded if you want, but I do. United need to hit the ground running next season, so good summer recruitment is critical. If we can get those 3 players in, obviously they'll have their 2-week break before joining up the main camp. If we can get those 3 players in, if we can get that left back sorted, if we can sell that Maguire or Lindelof, get that second centre back sorted, if we can sell Greenwood and Sancho, get that winger sorted, and if we can offload Casemiro and Eriksen and get a second midfielder sorted and bring in 7 signings and offload the deadwood, that would be a really unrealistic dream summer. When we look at the expectations we have surrounding Manchester United going into the transfer window, if we could pull off 5 signings this window, I would be happy. But if we could get all 7 that we want to do, I would be absolutely ecstatic because you know me, my expectations around Manchester United in the transfer window are always low. I think, to be honest, I'm thinking Ugarte, Zirkzee, De Ligt and 1 more signing, probably 4 signings, only a few players go out, most of the dev would stay, is a realistic prediction for United's window. But if United can pull off what they want to pull off and get the 7 signings they want in this summer and get the 10 players they want out this summer, then that would be absolutely amazing and that would be a massive statement from Ineos. Fulham are in for Scott McTominay. Newcastle also expressed an interest in Scott McTominay as well, but I don't think Newcastle are prioritising a midfielder. West Ham also expressed an interest in McTominay. I think if McTominay is going to leave Man United, it will be for West Ham. Do you want my honest opinion? I if McTominay is going to leave Manchester United, I think it would be for West Ham. And I think there is some updates on McTominay to West Ham that we will get into in a little bit. Is the stream quality all right, guys? Or are we starting to lag a bit? Now the hope is most of the valuable signings do well for us. That's another valuable variable. Yeah, bringing Zirkzee, Ligt, and Ugarte in is really exciting, but there's a risk with all of those signings. Zirkzee, can he adapt to the Premier League? Does Ten Hag use him properly? He's a facilitated player. Is Ten Hag going to try and make him do the same role as Højlund, and he's not that kind of player? That's the first question mark. De Ligt, is he going to stay fit? Is he going to partner Martin as well? I believe he will partner Martin as well, but is he going to stay fit? I mean, the fact that De Ligt's done it in 3 other leagues at the top level, I'm not too worried about that. But also, Ugarte, he didn't have a good season at PSG. Is he just not made for the big leagues? Well, I think the reason Ugarte was bad at PSG is because PSG signed him before they brought in Enrique, and he wasn't an Enrique player. And that's why Enrique wants him sold. He looks really good for Uruguay. But there's risks around all of those 3 players. Those 3 players are exciting, and those 3 players are available for good money and good wages. All of those 3 players will be on less than 150k a week, bar De Ligt, who will be on a little bit over that, but he'll still be taking a massive wage cut. The fact that we've got 3 players coming in and they're good players for good prices, when you look at some of the other prices in the market, we could be getting Ugarte for the same price, and he's the same age as Elliot Anderson from Newcastle. He's never scored a goal that Nottingham Forest have paid for him. We could be getting De Ligt for less money than West Ham paid for Max Kilman from Wolves. We're going to be getting Zirkzee for potentially half the price of Dominic Solanke. So you look at the value there, and I think United are doing really, really good business. Now, I do want to get into the Zirkzee news because some people have been asking me, Alice, what's the update on Zirkzee? What's the latest? There is reports that, guys, we could generally get a here we go for Zirkzee in 2 minutes. We could be, in 2 minutes time, I could be saying, breaking, here we go for Zirkzee. Zirkzee is ridiculously close to United. That I've got my notifications on for here we go today, here we go tomorrow. Romano was hinting he thinks he could be doing a here we go today for Zirkzee. And obviously, these are the latest updates on Zirkzee as well. That's the thing. When it's a reasonable fee and wages much less and pressure, yeah. I think the fact that we're getting players for a reasonable fee and less wages, the pressure does come off them a little bit as well. England should have taken Rashford, I agree. But England's left-hand side is shocking. Phil Foden. Southgate is literally changing everything to accommodate Phil Foden, and he's still being absolutely crap. Just drop him. Rashford is better for England than Phil Foden. Yes, Phil Foden's player of the season, but if you drop Phil Foden, you had Rashford on the left, Bellingham in the middle, Saka on the right, Kane up top, England would look so much better. Fully fit Luke Shaw on the left, get rid of Kyle Walker, put in Trent on the right, Maguire and Stones at the back, bosh. All I'm saying is Pickford, Trent, Stones, Maguire, Shaw, Rice, Maino, Bellingham, Saka, Kane, Rashford, fully fit, England's best team. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. But I want to dive into some more news as well. If Scott isn't sold, we lose out on 30 mil of pure prefer and end up with a new contract and high wages. That's the thing. We need to sell Scott McTominay because if he stays, he gets a new contract of high wages and we have an opportunity to actually get 30 million pure profit from McTominay. Hopefully we do sell McTominay. We will discuss a little bit of that later in the show. We will talk about Amrabat as well in a minute. So what is the latest on Zirkzee? What has Fabrizio Romano come out and said about Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United? He said Manchester United will hold further talks with Joshua Zirkzee's representatives today in the hope of finalising everything with a medical to be scheduled for after the 2024 Euros. United have informed Bologna of their intention to trigger Zirkzee's release clause. So it said that Man United will trigger Zirkzee's release clause, and obviously everything is sort of done. We're just finalising the medical. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to trigger Zirkzee's release clause. We're going to get the here we go, and Zirkzee's going to have a medical after the Euros, and then Zirkzee will be announced as a Man United player. It is 99%. We're just waiting for that green light from Romano notification to say that Zirkzee's 100%. And what did Romano say on that? He said Joshua Zirkzee, here we go, is expected soon. It could even be while you're watching this video. Well, that was his video. This is my video. We'll have to see. And everything is ready between Joshua Zirkzee and Manchester United. He's excited about the possibility of playing at Old Trafford. So Romano is saying, here we go for Zirkzee. Could happen any time now. He's excited to play for United. We're trying to organise his medical. That is what you need to know on Joshua Zirkzee to Manchester United. That is why it's exciting. That is why it's advanced as well. So that is the latest on Zirkzee to United. So if I just recap everyone that's just joined the show right now, we're halfway through the show. We're halfway through the news coming out in today's show. It's been confirmed Mason Greenwood had a meeting at Carrington today and he's been told his time at Manchester United is over. He will leave Manchester United and not return to training. He's had advanced talks with Marseille. Lazio are salty about that. It looks like Greenwood's on the verge of joining Marseille. Manchester United are making talks for a left-back. They want to sign in Girona left-back Manuel Ugarte. They've also talks with Chilwell. Some sources suggest that a secret left-back deal could be done before Zirkzee, just because of Zirkzee being in the Euros. Manchester United obviously got the green light from Manuel Ugarte. He said yes, and Manuel Ugarte is probably going to be in the region of about 35 to 40 million pounds. That deal's likely to advance after Copa America. And we already got this story on Zirkzee, as Fabrizio Romano said, here we go, is expected soon. 143 likes, guys, over 600 people watching. Let's go for the 300 like target. If less than half of you right now, go and click that like button. We will hit our 300 like target. So big up Stephanie, big up everybody in the chat. Surprising if Mason chooses Marseille. I'd go La Liga or Serie A over French League. I agree, but maybe it's the conversations he's had with Zirkzee, and maybe he actually, because he's English and obviously grew up in the Premier League, he probably knows Zirkzee as a coach. He's probably not familiar with maybe the Valencia coach, etc., etc. He's probably, I'd say Greenwood, I think, is most familiar maybe with Zirkzee, and that's why he's open to Marseille. I guess also it's closest to England. I would have thought he'd have stayed in Spain just because he started to learn the language. He got settled there. He started to make friends in Spain. I would have said he probably would have stayed in Spain. It's the second best league after, well, actually Spain and Italy, probably second best league after the Premier League. But I think Greenwood was really interested in working with Zirkzee, which I think is why he's chosen Marseille. And he has a verbal agreement with Marseille, Greenwood. He's agreed to join Marseille, so that's expected to advance as well. Someone is saying Chilwell's better than by miles. I'm not a big fan of Chilwell. So what is the latest on Ligt to Manchester United? It was said that Manchester United are progressing in talks to sign Matthijs for around 38 million. It seems the deal is now considered imminent by some sources, and that Matthijs believes Manchester United is the perfect opportunity. He wants to reunite with Ten Hag and feel like an important player. So again, more insight on Ligt, Zirkzee, Ugarte. Zirkzee to Man United, there literally could be a here we go for Zirkzee to Man United in the next 10 minutes, in the next 10 hours, in the next 3, it will be in the next week, 100%. But there's an expectation that Zirkzee, here we go, is in the next 24 hours. Ligt is one that we're going to advance on. We're just working on the structure of the deal with Bayern Munich. Ligt is given the green light to join Manchester United, and Ugarte said, yeah, I want to leave. And obviously Zirkzee speaks English, which will definitely help Mason Greenwood, 100% as well. Do you think Sancho can redeem himself with Ten Hag and the fans? Well, Sancho was back in training today, and we're going to discuss what went down in training with Jadon Sancho later today, so make sure you subscribe for that. But it'll be interesting to see what goes on with Sancho. I'm going to do a video at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm going to do a video because I'm going to speak to a source, and I'm going to do a video at 9 o'clock tonight to tell you what went down when Greenwood came to Carrington today, when Sancho came to Carrington today, who was new at Carrington. Man United had a big recruitment meeting this morning at Carrington as well, over what signings they want to make and potential other signings, who they want to sell. They've had conversations with certain players to say you can leave in the transfer window. I will do a video which will be less than 10 minutes tonight where I summarise everything that went on the first day that everyone was returning at Man United. So do subscribe for that. We're 16 likes away from 200 likes. We're going for 300 likes, nearly 700 people watching. So big up everybody in the chat as well. We don't need Sancho to give Pellistri more time. Would I rather Pellistri play than Antony? Yes. For me, Garnacho and Rashford are the only three wingers in the future. We need to bring in a fourth. I like Pellistri. I think Pellistri's a good player, but I also think we can get money for Pellistri, move him on, because I don't know if he's ultimately going to be the level that we need. But at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to sell Antony, so Antony's going to have to stay at United. I would rather obviously have someone like Pellistri playing for United than Antony, because I believe Pellistri's a better player than Antony, but I think Pellistri's one of the few players that we might be easily able to offload. Like, that's the one thing about Pellistri. It's one of the few players at United that I think we should be easily able to offload him as well. So we're going to get into Fabrizio Romano's transfer update, because Fabrizio Romano has given a few updates on, obviously, a lot of Manchester United players, including Amrabat, including João Neves. We're going to get into it as well. Doué and Ahmed for rotation, yeah. So for me, Doué and Rashford on the left, Garnacho and Ahmed on the right, that's what I'd like to see as well. So let's get into this as well. Man United dream of 7 signings. I'm not lying. When I say Man United insiders want 7 signings, I'm not lying about that. So what else has Fabrizio Romano said? So Fabrizio Romano did an exclusive on the United Stand today with Mark Goldbridge, where he said a few interesting bits of information. He said Amrabat is waiting on Manchester United. The club is taking their time with their decision, but the option to keep him is there. So he confirms, yep, the option for Amrabat to stay at United is there. He is waiting for United. Romano also said it will be very difficult to sign João Neves this summer. I think we're aware of that. It will be very hard for United to sign João Neves, but obviously Amrabat, because he's going to be available for 12, 13 million, Amrabat staying at United is definitely a genuine possibility. Definitely a genuine possibility. Club will have to decide on Amrabat soon. He'll not wait to deadline day again like last summer, and I think it would be completely unfair of us if we do make him wait to deadline day. If I'm Man United, I think, okay, France could be out of the Euros in the next week. Push for Youssouf Fofana if you've got the funds. If you get turned down by Youssouf Fofana, go and then push for someone like Amrabat as a second midfield signing, not a first, as a second midfield signing for depth. But I think the problem with it is Man United was saying to Amrabat, like, if we sell Eriksen and Casemiro, we'll get at you for depth, but we can't get you because we need this signing first. That's the problem with Amrabat. It's not a priority. And if you're not a priority, we're going to get you in August, depending on sales, depending on how much money we have come August. And I don't think Amrabat wants to wait till August. But you never know. He seems to love United. Jamie Jackson said this, and this is some more updates on the second centre-back, because Man United, it almost feels like the three main priorities is DM, striker, centre-back, and then they want to get a second centre-back. Ineos have made it clear, the Muppeteers, Tier 1 sources, Romano, Wansley and Whitwell have all said Ineos sort of have this vision. Well, not all of them, but it's come from those credible sources. I can't remember who exactly said it, but a lot of the reliable sources have all said something along the lines of Ineos envision there being three top centre-backs at United, Martinez and two others that would rotate with each other and provide competition, and they do want the second centre-back signing. Jamie Jackson has said that Erik ten Hag is targeting Jarrad Branthwaite and Matthijs de Ligt, and cash flow is an issue for Manchester United, so having the funds to operate in the market is a balancing act reliant on outgoing. So it's basically been said, we do want two centre-backs, we still want Branthwaite, but it depends on outs. Romano then confirmed Lenny Euro is a dream target for Man United, PSG and Liverpool, but the player's dream is Real Madrid, so that is complicated, which we already know. And Romano said that the only way Man United sign Branthwaite is Everton lower their asking price. United have no intention of going up to their 65 million valuation. It was 70 million, so it's gone down 5 million. We just need to get down at least another 10 million to get Branthwaite in, which is fair enough from United. And do you know what? One thing I'm really glad about is that we haven't gone and overpaid on Branthwaite. That one thing that I'm super glad about is that United haven't gone in and just overpaid on Branthwaite. We've actually said, you know what, he's not worth that money. He walked away, gone and got de Ligt for a good deal, because the old Man United would have been still working on Branthwaite, probably have brought Branthwaite in August for 70 million. The old Man United would have got Branthwaite in August for 70 million, and we were on the verge of getting de Ligt in and another signing in at the same time. You know, Manchester United normally does one signing in June, waits a month, one signing in July, waits a month, one signing in August, waits a month, and maybe a crap signing on deadline day or the last week that's a bit underwhelming. That's what we've done every window. We might be doing 3 signings right after the Euros and Copa America's over. Like, boom. You know, whereas the old United would have probably wasted this whole time on Branthwaite. Even though Branthwaite's not at the Euros, we still wouldn't probably have signed Branthwaite, trying to get the price down, and then we probably would have paid 80 million for Branthwaite. We probably would have paid more than Everton wanted. That's what the old United would do as well. Amrabat's mentality is ideal. He's humble warrior, all about football, not brands or ego. I agree. I think Amrabat mentally is a great guy. I think that he's a good player. We saw towards the end what Amrabat can offer, and we were so excited about signing Amrabat because we knew what he could offer. But he was played out of position. He was injured. He didn't get consistent run of games. And then Amrabat finally got run of games. We could see what he offers. He's not the finished product. He does have a mistake on, and of course we need to upgrade there. And he's not the long-term partner. But as a depth option, we know that you can rely on Amrabat in that role. So he did start to say, look, this is what I can offer. This is what I can do. So yeah, that was the sort of situation with Amrabat. What else has been said on the outs? Because it's basically been said on the ins, these are the 3 players we're going to sign, but anything else we do depends on the outs. So what is the latest on the outs here? So I'm going to get this up on the screen. Oh, it was said here. The appreciation for Jadon Sancho from Juventus is there, but they would need to sell the player in order to fund the deal. Casella's departure could be key to this. So Sancho to Juventus. Sancho apparently is close to joining Juventus, according to sources in Italy, on a loan with an obligation to buy, which would include a 5 million loan fee and a 30 million obligation to buy. Hopefully that is the case, but it depends on the sale of Casella, who Juventus has slapped a 25 million price tag on, which is quite reasonable, and maybe that will move. I think it will take time. It was then said there's a possibility, that the only possibility is with a big proposal. With a big proposal, anything is possible, is what was said in regards to Rashford and Bruno leaving as well. So I don't think Rashford and Bruno will leave United. I think Sancho will leave United, but it's going to drag on in August. If I'm going to give you my predictions, before I get into the next few stories, I think Greenwood leaves Man United the next week. I think Casemiro will leave Manchester United towards the end of July. I think late deals for Eriksen, Lindelof, Maguire are possible. I think Eriksen and Lindelof are the most likely. I think Sancho drags into August. I think Sancho stays. It's not Sancho. I think Rashford stays. I think Bruno stays. If I was going to give you my honest opinion as well. I hope we sell Scott, go for Amrabat and have enough money to get Ugarte or even Neves if he will come in for around 70 million plus add-ons. He'll be an add-on. He'll be a future. Do you know what? For me, sell McTominay, sell Eriksen, sell Casemiro, bring in Amrabat, bring in Fofana, bring in Ugarte. Like, get that defensive frame sorted, but also in Fofana, you got someone with technical abilities to do elements of what Maino added as well. Amrabat would need more minutes and have played in his deeper favourite anchor role. I think we need to play Amrabat in his best role and give him the minutes. And when we did do that, he did do well. Amrabat needs time to adapt. He's going to be a good player this season. Yeah, if we do bring in Amrabat, I'm not against it. If we bring in Amrabat and that is the only midfield signing, what are we doing? But if we bring in a midfield signing and then bring in Amrabat on top of that, I think that would be good. Rashford could be elite next season. I generally think invest in Rashford stocks. If you could, I would, because I tell you what, he has been he's going to be absolutely fantastic under Zirkzee. Rashford's footballing stocks, they are going to be, I don't know, this is my prediction. I think Zirkzee coming in will get the best out of Marcus Rashford. I do. I think Zirkzee coming in will get the best out of Marcus Rashford, and I think Rashford is going to go up levels under Zirkzee. I shared a video on Twitter where I showed what Zirkzee does, his link-up play, how he facilitates in wingers. Oh, I just punched my mic. I don't know how that sounded. I generally say Rashford stocks are going to go, like, I believe. I don't know for sure. Rashford could be crap next season. Rashford could be absolutely rubbish next season. He could be. But I think Zirkzee's that guy that's going to bring the best out of Marcus Rashford. I really, really do. I really, really do. Like, there's certain footballers where you predict, like, they're going to go up a level. Like, if you could invest in footballer stocks, as we say in the football world, if you could invest in footballer stocks, there's like, who would you invest with? Who would you invest in? And mine would be a couple of players, but one of them would be Marcus Rashford. I just think if Zirkzee gets done and we use Zirkzee in the right role and Eric Ten Hag doesn't keep him on the bench or use him wrongly, I generally think Marcus Rashford will go up a level under Zirkzee as well. I really, really do. 220 likes, guys. We're going for 300 likes. We've got 700 people in the chat. I want to hit 300 likes. So if less than half of you right now, just go hit that like button quickly. We will hit our like target. As well. So big up everybody in the chat. Let's get into the last couple of stories as well, because I tell you what, today has been a massive show, and I want to keep this show short and sweet and try and get through as much news as possible in today's show, because there's so much news, there's so much valuable information coming out, but I also want to keep it short and sweet for people watching on replay. But it was said by the United stands that official announcement for Ruud van Nistelrooy and René Hackett United is expected tomorrow. We were told by some sources that we were going to announce Ruud van Nistelrooy today. It's now coming tomorrow. It was said that Van Nistelrooy is at Carrington to resume training and René Hackett should be there, and the new goalkeeping coach was also at Carrington. So it's good to see that the 3 new additions were all at Carrington. There's expected to be big announcements coming in soon as well. So really good to see, some positive updates, some positive changes, some probably big updates coming in from Carrington as well. So great to see all of them in. Official announcements tomorrow, which will be absolutely fantastic. So much news has come out today. It's definitely been one of those crazy news day shows, because I tell you what, like, if we just literally scroll through this, all the news that's come out, I'd say in the last 3 hours, is that Greenwood will leave United. Greenwood had a meeting at Carrington today to say he's gone, he's over. Greenwood's chapter at United's over. It looks like he's going to join Marseille. Talks are advancing. Greenwood to Marseille is a possibility, but United want to include a big sell-on clause and make sure that they can get a good deal for Greenwood. Obviously, United are in talks with Miguel Gutierrez of Girona. They discussed him when they obviously sold Donny van de Beek for Girona for literally the equivalent of a mil deal, generally peanuts. So that's one to watch out for. Chilwell's another one we've been looking at. So is Reguilon. And Man United could quietly get a deal done for a small left-back signing before Zirkzee. Although we've been told by Romana that Zirkzee, here we go, could be today. Like, it really could be today. Ugarte said yes to Manchester United. He wants to join. He's given the green light. PSG are given the green light. Things are going smooth between Ugarte and United, but Ugarte's focused on Copa America. But we know that United want to see if they can get him for £35 million. PSG want £50 million. I think a deal was sorted for around £40 million. I'm quite confident Ugarte will be a Man United player, because our only competition or major competition, Bayern Munich, have decided to get Palhinha, and Ugarte's told United, I want the move. So Ugarte, De Ligt and Zirkzee have all basically told United they want the move. As is said by Romano, Fabrizio Romano said, Joshua Zirkzee's "here we go" is expected soon. Could be why you're watching this video, said Romano. And that everything's ready between Zirkzee and Man United, said Romano, and United are set to trigger the release clause according to court offside. We obviously have the De Ligt situation. It's, considered like imminent by some sources. United are just structuring it with Bayern. Amrabat's waiting on United. He wants to move. João Neves will be difficult. Eric Ten Hag wants a second centre-back, but they need to sell. But he'd like Branthwaite, but he won't get Branthwaite unless they lower the fee. We still like Lenny Euro, but he's probably going to Real Madrid. Sancho to Juventus, that is something that could progress, but they need to sell Zirkzee first. It's likely to be a loan with obligation to buy if Sancho goes to Juventus. Rashford and Bruno leaving United is very unlikely unless huge proposals come in, and none of the players are interested in Saudi. There will be announcements for Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hake tomorrow, and big figures return to Carrington. So that's what I mean when I'm saying that is a little bit of the bulk of what we've been talking about in today's show. A massive, massive show. Left back market is poor this summer. If Wan-Bissaka goes, right back would be needed as well. Yeah, left back market is poor. I'm happy, like with Luke Shaw being good when fit and Malacia being all right when fit and Harry Amos coming through. I don't want to spend big on the left back. To be honest with you guys, I don't think we need to spend big on signing a left back. If I was going to be totally honest with you people, I would rather us literally like go for someone cheap. I wouldn't bring in Zirkzee. I don't think he's like good enough, to be honest. I don't personally rate him. But look, guys, I'm going to end the live show now. I wanted to keep it to 30 minutes. We rambled on to 35 minutes. But when I said this was a massive live show, it was a massive live show with lots of info to talk about. Make sure you subscribe because I've got a 10-minute upload coming out tonight. And if we get any here we goes, that news will break. Any breaking news, there'll be a video or a live stream. So make sure your notification bell is on. Thank you for watching. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time. Bye.